Welcome back. We're in the home stretch of the NFL season. We like to break free from the politics every now and then and talk a little sports. And who better to talk about sports with than my guest tonight, NFL legend, CBS sports analyst, host of the wildly popular Boomer and Geo show on WFAN in New York, streaming everywhere. It's Boomer Esiason up late with us tonight on the Final Five. Boomer, good to see you.
It is late, Jim. I appreciate you having me on and staying up so late with me, man. I got to get to bed. I got to go to work in the morning.
I got to tell you, as a kid who grew up in Pittsburgh, I mean, if you told me I'd be talking to Boomer Esiason, it'd be a little bit of a different take here. But obviously times have changed. One of the reasons, one of the best parts about having you on tonight is obviously we mentioned your bona fides, but when you look at your time here, I mean, obviously University of Maryland, quarterback for the Terps all these years, and I just wanted to get your take about what you've seen with the state of football, state of college football here in Maryland, what Mike Loxley's done, the team 7-5 this year. What have you seen?
Well, I see back-to-back bowl years is what I see. And I think Lox is a guy that's not going anywhere, that he loves this job. He doesn't have his eye on another job somewhere else. He loves recruiting. He loves the University of Maryland. He worked for Ralph Friedgen when he was there. I knew him from those days. Ralph loves him. Ralph speaks really highly of him. And I, have such respect for Ralph Friedgen and his point of view when it comes to football. So I think we're in a good spot. I think we're building a program, and it reminds me of when Bobby Ross took over when I was at the University of Maryland. So he took over in 1982, and he had me, Frank Reich, and Stan Gelbaugh as his initial three quarterbacks, which worked out really well for them and for us because they brought us a pro-style offense. We were exciting, and that's what I see from Maryland. I see a very exciting offense. I see great skill players. I think we still need to get bigger on the offensive and defensive lines, which Mike is going to be working on. But what we have is we have a guy that's the leader now of the program that doesn't want to go anywhere else, that loves the University of Maryland, that has all the support that he needs there in terms of all the practice facilities, the indoor facility, and a great partnership with Under Armour. So I think the recruiting's on the upswing. I think the overall spirit is back, and hopefully he can build off of that.
Here in D.C., especially around this time of year, I mean, Maryland gives fans hope, but it's usually around this time of year where on the pro side, the resignation of another bad season for Washington settles in. Yet you have this team that's been on a roll with the Commanders. Obviously, Ron Rivera doing some pretty big things with this team. And I feel like this time they've been insulated. There's a lot going on off the field that's been a bit of a distraction, I think, in years past. But when you see what Coach Rivera has done with this team and with Taylor Heinecke as quarterback, I mean, does Taylor Heinecke remind you of anyone maybe you played with or maybe you've seen through the years?
Well, the thing that I respect about Taylor Heinecke is that he wasn't a first-round draft choice, and he's had to, fight his way all the way to the top, to the point where, he almost led them to a comeback victory against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the playoffs. It's one of the reasons why he's there. And the fact that you have a guy like Taylor Heinecke is that he's a great insurance policy. But the thing that I've noticed more so this year than in past years is that, of course they go out and they get Carson Wentz from the Colts, and it just wasn't working great with Carson. It's hard to assimilate to a new team in such a short period of time and expect immediate success. But once Taylor took over, you could see the players on the team truly respect him and like him. There are players in this league, Russell Wilson and Zach Wilson, to name two of them, that have lost their locker rooms by the way that they've played and the way that they've carried themselves. This is the complete opposite of that. And what makes this so special is where he was drafted, where he's come from, his overall story, and the success that he has had. Albeit, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that he's going to be an all-pro. But what he has, like I said, is the most important thing, and that's the respect of his teammates and his coaches. And I appreciate that Ron Rivera said that he's going to stay with them as long as he can and that he deserves to be on the field.
Well, one of the biggest changes, too, I think, over the last year and especially over the last month in Maryland specifically for our viewers, you have a new dimension when you watch NFL games, when you watch college games, because we just opened up sports betting in Maryland. Yeah. And really, it's amazing because I can imagine from the time that you were in the NFL, just the attitudes towards wagering have changed exponentially. And it's been something that I think for many places has been a good thing. You've been working with FanDuel, one of the many books that have opened up here. I mean, how has that changed your view of the NFL and of sports?
Well, in New York for the last 15 or 16 years, I've always talked about the spreads. We've always talked about, there's illicit gambling. It's not just Vegas where people go to gamble. And then that was the thing that was really irking me. So When FanDuel came to me about 4 years ago to be an ambassador, I said, okay, tell me about what you're doing, why you're doing it, and how you're doing it, and how are you protecting people from themselves if you can actually do that. So FanDuel said, look, man, we were working with the politicians in New York trying to get the app up and running. They finally did. I became an ambassador along with Phil Simms. And one of the nice things within FanDuel is that it teaches you to bet with your head, not over it. That there are all sorts of safeguards within the app to make sure that you're betting responsibly. That's the most important thing for young men and young women out there to understand, that you're not going to get rich off of something like this, but you're going to be engaged in every single game. And I can't even begin to tell you how many people are so now engaged because they understand the app. The app is easy to use, it's safe, it's secure, and it makes them more engaged in the experience of the game. They're watching it for different reasons now. So it's legal in 17 states. It's a part of our society. It's always been a part of our society. And this way it's safe, secure, and hopefully it's an enjoyable experience for most people.
And I appreciate the way that you're approaching that, because when it was legal, and obviously it's always contentious on the political side when you talk about legalizing things like that. And that's one of the concerns many people have. But when you're proactive about it and you're focused on the education of it, and again, bet with your head, not over it, that makes all the difference. And that, I think, contributes to the success, not just for FanDuel and other apps, but for the players themselves and for the people who are betting.
They recognize the anti-gambling establishment. They understand that, and that's why within the app itself, it has these safeguards, and that's one of the most important aspects to why I wanted to get involved. I have kids. I have grandkids, so I know that they're going to be tempted, but they also know they'll know that the safeguards are there to protect themselves. So that's the most important thing. It's legal, it's safe, it's secure, and it's easy. So all of those things match up with what I was hoping it would be when it finally became legal, and that's exactly what it is.
Boomer, real quick before I go, who's the team to watch in the NFL going into this postseason this year?
It's got to be the 49ers on the NFC side of things. They have the best defense in football. They've shut out their opponents in the second half, 4 straight games, I believe. Jimmy Garoppolo's got a bunch of stars around him now with the addition of Christian McCaffrey and Deebo Samuel. Over in the AFC, I would say that there's 3 teams that I'm looking at. It's still Buffalo, it's still Kansas City, and believe it or not, it's still Cincinnati. Cincinnati has won 3 in a row going into this weekend's game against Kansas City in Cincinnati. So that's going to be the huge matchup this week to look at.
As a lifelong Steelers fan, again, you hate to give it to Cincinnati, but Joe Burrow, man, he is something else, and I love watching him grow. Boomer Esiason, hey, thank you very much, sir. Appreciate the time.
It's my pleasure. Thanks for having me on, Jim. See you soon.